What's up, everybody? Mike Del Pre here, Executive Director of the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. Today, I'm just hopping on, just hanging out. I'm here to answer some questions. If you follow me on Instagram, I went 5 months straight, every single day, wholesaling real estate Q&A. So I know a little bit about it. I just wanted to be here, be a resource, be some help, answer some questions, give you some thoughts on what wholesaling is and how it works. So chime in. I'll give it a minute, see if anyone pops in, and I'll open up the chat, drop your questions, and that's what I'm looking for right now. So let's see, chat, look docs. Yep, don't know where it's at. This will all be online here. Let's see. Got it. So, like I said, Mike Del Pre, Executive Director of the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. Obviously, we'll be talking about wholesaling. It works all across the country, right? Depends on where you're at. There are different rules and regulations and laws, so definitely check where you're at and how it works in wholesaling real estate. Also, always check out your local real estate investing association, mainly RIAs that are licensed under the national RIA. That's where you're gonna get your best source of information and the best resources of people. So I've been wholesaling for 12 years. That's how I started in the business. And I've been doing it ever since. Obviously, you grow as an investor through the years. I think we get sidetracked, right? We want to do everything. We get this shiny object, right? You want to wholesale, you want to flip, you want a landlord, and all this stuff. But I think you just got to pick one and stick with one. And as a wholesaler, it's wonderful because it allows you to. I always say you have to think like your buyers, right? You got to put yourself in the shoes of your buyer. So that's, for instance, a fix and flipper. So how does a fix and flipper analyze a deal, right? You got to think and understand how they analyze. How does a landlord analyze a deal? How does whoever your end buyer is going to be, multifamily buyers, mobile home buyers, land buyers. So you always just got to understand how they think. So wholesaling allowed me to be a great investor and learn multiple different strategies over the years to become more successful. So drop your questions in as we go. I'm going to keep an eye out here, see if anything pops up. Um, like I said, 12 years in the business. Over 700 transactions done, signing deals, double closing, and also a mixture of flips and obviously have a rental portfolio. I learned a lot there. That all led, and I mean, you got to be in the game swinging the bat. And I think as it allowed me to, from wholesaling and hanging out at the RIA, allowed me to meet the people, build my relationships, do deals. I would say, man, 40% of my deals easily come from my phone, my cell phone, and networking, getting in the meetings, meeting people, and building those relationships. That's how I would say I've got most of my deals. So, how what is wholesaling real estate? What is it, right? So you may have heard a lot of no money, no credit, no risk. You hear all these terms, no license. A lot of this stuff's thrown around. It's all true. You might think, hey, it's not real. It's that infomercial type thing or that scammy ads that you see, people flashing the checks and stuff like that. It's all real. All the information's real. It all works. I pinch myself to this day. I was working 9 to 5, actually 2 to 11, with 2 days off, Wednesdays and Sundays, working at Verizon Wireless in a cubicle. Had to punch out every time you wanted to go take a piss or whatever it is, or tracking your minutes, tracking your seconds. I just knew I needed to be in a better place, and that wasn't for me. So I was curious, and I always wanted to figure out, how can I get out of this situation? I know I'm better. I know I deserve better than what's going on here, but I just didn't. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what's out there. You don't know what's real. You don't always have the money. You don't always have the resources or the knowledge to figure all this stuff out. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So I was at the water cooler talk, right? You're at the break room. It was like I was waiting for training to start, and a gentleman was like, "Hey, this is here in Phoenix. This is where we're located." And he was like, "Yo, all these houses and condos are all 10,000, 5,000, $25,000. For Phoenix, that's unusual. Some Midwest markets, I know it's kind of normal, but it was just insanely. disruptive and low. So I was curious. It's like, why would that happen? So I took the initiative and I started Googling, researching online, seeing what's going on. And obviously, you're starting to hear about the crash. I just wasn't in the real estate world, so I didn't know, right? And usually, when you hear a crash, what do people think? Run for the hills, get away. But what you're going to learn as we get to know each other is at the time, America was on sale, right? So if there's coupons in the mail, there's an ads running, your family, friends, they all run to the store and get the deal, right? But then they end up walking out with more than just the deal and they end up spending a bunch of more money, right? However, if real estate crashes and it's super cheap, everyone runs and says don't do it, and they get scared and they give this bad advice is not to do it when it's actually on sale and you should be participating in the sale and getting some properties for yourself, whether it's a wholesale, flip, landlord, whatever it may be. Um, so I jumped in. I got curious. I did my first deal in 45 days. I know, I think I got. I want to call it luck, and I want to call it. Hey, I put in the work, right? I found on YouTube at the time. YouTube was fairly new. This was 2009 ish, 8, 9. There was a gentleman, Tyrone Taylor, who had 100 free videos on how to wholesale real estate. I had no idea what it was or what I was getting into. So here's what happened. Here's what I was thinking. Why I jumped into it was, um, if you're working 9 to 5 and you got a job and you got a family, you got a mortgage and everything, you're not really thinking, well, you don't know, right? So like when you think flipping, you think HGTV, you think ugly house to pretty house, all tens of thousands of dollars, whatever it may be, credit, cash, being able to have the resources to fix things up. You just don't know. You just don't have that. So it doesn't seem real. Then and plus you don't want me to fix anything in your house. So landlording, same concept. Where are you going to get the money to fix it up, to buy the house? Then you rent it out for 800 or $1,000 at that time, and then after your expenses and mortgage, you got 100, 200, $300 left. How do you get rich? How do you get rich being a landlord? Didn't understand it at the time. And then there's real estate agent, right? You could go sell houses, commission based, right? I have family, I got bills, right? I'm not gonna go out there and shake the bushes and drum up that. So I was looking for security at the time. So then I came across the word wholesaling. No money, no credit. Close your first deal in 30 days. That was the spin at that time. So it's like that's me. That's exactly me. I have no money, no credit, all the above. So I jumped in and started researching wholesaling, googling it, putting it in YouTube, all that good stuff. And I found gentleman Tyrone. He had 100 free videos. So I did something amazing. I I watched the videos, right? I watched all of them. I was obsessed with them all. And then I did the unthinkable and I applied the information in the videos, right? And it led me to figuring out how to put out bandit signs, the little mini billboards, and we pay cash for houses. And I put it out there. It was in the West Phoenix, Maryville section of Phoenix, and I found a condo. Gentleman called me and said, "Hey, I have a 2 bedroom, 1 bath condo for sale. Would you like to buy it?" Of course, I need to check it out. Following the videos, all that stuff. So I went and saw the house. I downloaded and printed out a contract off the internet. I had no clue what it meant or what it said, and I went to the meeting. So the key point here is the gentleman had to move back to Kentucky to take care of his family, or his mother was ill. So I locked up the property at $12,000. Keep in mind, at this time, the environment here in Phoenix was um, flooded with foreclosures. I mean, you can get newer built houses, 2000 cookie cutter type houses, red tile roofs at the auction for 40, $50,000, 4 bedroom, 2 bath, nice neighborhoods. And here I am in a not desirable area of town, and I'm dealing with condos that it's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. So I've learned that there's a buyer for everything, obviously, but at that time that just wasn't the game. Why would just the buyer pool was smaller for that product. So I locked it up. I didn't know how to comp. I just looked at. I think I just remember looking at Zillow. He said he wanted 12, so I gave him 12. That was my whole strategy, in a nutshell. So I was like, okay, so now how do I sell this thing? How do I sell this property in the middle of a crash in a tough neighborhood and a type of property that is not desirable to most cash buyers in the market? And it's my first deal. I downloaded the contract and I watched a bunch of videos and I'm doing this thing. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I um, got curious again, right? I went back online and I found this lady, this girl. She was like called like the Flip Chick or something in Tampa. I forgot. I'm pretty sure that was her. And she was talking about wholesaling condos. What did she say? She goes, "Yo, why don't you send a letter?" At this time, like skip tracing and all that wasn't happening. So it was like, write a letter to everyone that owns a condo in that complex. So I had to go to here in town, maricopa.gov, go to the county's website, and I went, there was like 200 units in this complex of condos. So I got, when you go to the county records, right, it says mailing address and tax mailing, subject address, tax mailing address. So whatever they lived in there or not, I sent a letter to every single address, to every single owner in that building, hand wrote on a yellow piece of paper with the red pen, and I wrote, "Hey, I own Unit X, and I would like to sell it. If you're interested, call me." I didn't overthink it. Real quick. So if you have any questions, you're dropping in. We're talking about wholesaling, the basics of wholesaling. I'm just going over some little piece of my story. My name's Mike Delpre, executive director of Azria. So yeah, chime in, throw in some questions. If you're looking to get started in wholesaling real estate, I'm here to help and just be a resource. Um, yeah, so let me know what you got. Uh, so she said, send a letter to everybody. So sent out the letters, handwritten, pen and paper, licked the stamp, all that stuff. Mailed them all out. My phone starts ringing, and I'm like, okay, great, cool. And I'm at work, right? So I'm checking my voicemails and my 15-minute break, or after work or before work, whatever it is. And I remember one time I was able to answer it live, and the lady was like, "Yo, did Jim O'Neill call you?" I forgot the name, and I was like, "Did Jim O'Neill call me? Who is this? Who are you?" Everything's going to my cell phone, right? I didn't have any secret, Google Voice number or any VoIP number or anything like that. So it came straight to my phone. I was like, she's like, "Hey, I'm so and so, and I am on the board of the HOA, and me and Jim are having a race to see who can buy the most amount of condos in this complex. And I don't want you to sell to him. I want you to sell to me. When can I see it?" And I was like, "Oh, well, great, So I was like, "Well, let's go see it." So I invited her to see the property, called the homeowner, had her come through, walk the property, and I put it out at 18,000. So we're walking through, we're done with the property, and it's me, the buyer, and then the seller, right? I didn't know anything. Like, the homeowner was there. I just didn't even think nothing of it. She goes, "Mike, you sure you only want 18,000 for this?" So how do you feel? Right there, I was like, ah, you know what I mean? Only 18,000. So that's the first thing that hit me, man. And I was like, all right, yeah, yeah, of course, yeah, that's what I want. Another part of it was, uh, hey, um, 18,000. How did I determine that price? I didn't comp the property. I gave the seller what they wanted, right? Remember, 5K in 30 days, right? That I just took the headline from the marketing online and I just added 5 on top and just blasted it out there. So I've already learned I probably could have sold it for more, just based the way the HOA board member presented herself. And then the next dealing I had to deal with was the homeowner goes, "Mike, she's buying it for 18, but you're only giving me 12." And I was just like, that's how it goes. Yeah, I didn't know what to say. I was stumped. I was like, hey, it just is what, hey. But the good thing about all that, the deal still went through, right? So I could go on about my story, but I do want to talk about wholesale and real estate. And the deal still went through. That's the key. And you know why it went through? It's because the seller needed to sell. He didn't want to sell. He needed to sell. And that's what Robert Allen, one of the real estate gurus from the '80s, would say. We are looking for don't wanters. We need to talk to people that don't want their house. It might sound crazy that that's true because it's the American dream. It's the biggest purchase of your life. So why the hell would someone want to sell their house at 50 cents on the dollar, dirt cheap, whatever? There's a lot of reasons, and there's physical distress, there's financial distress, and there's circumstantial distress. And there's all these different categories, like physical, maybe water damage, fire damage. There's neglect on the property. There's financial distress. I lost my job, bankruptcy, foreclosure, uh, or circumstance. What are some of those? Maybe you got tax liens. You got to go to jail. There's just all these things that happen that cause people to sell at a discount, right? If they want to sell and they want to sell their house for $1 million and it's worth 600,000, you move on, right? We just don't talk to them. Next, that's all we do. So we look for, you're sifting for gold. I always say it's like you're in the river with they're sifting for the little nugget, little shiny nugget. Hey, that's all we're doing, right? We're looking for people that don't want their house. So he went through with the transaction, no hiccups whatsoever, didn't complain. Just, hey, you're getting your 12. He needed to be back with his family. Family members were ill. He needed to go. He had a time constraint on it. So it is what it is. So the board member added one more property to their race with the other HOA board member. I made 5K. Seller got their money and moved on. And oh yeah, one other learning lesson that I learned from that is I downloaded my contract off the internet. That be careful. I know you can go on you could download your contract from anywhere on the internet. Probably a lot of great ones, but you just don't know what you're getting into. So make sure you get it from a reliable source. Have someone check it over, experienced investor, obviously an attorney or title company. Just get someone that knows what they're doing to look it over. Because what I did, oh, when I was doing the closing with the board member, usually what we pitch, what we're taught to teach in wholesaling is to make it a seamless and scenario for the homeowner was, hey, we'll buy as is and we'll pay all closing costs. So the in the contract it said I'll pay all closing costs, whatever, and whatever my assignment agreement said. I don't forget exactly how it went down, but it basically said I'll pay the title insurance. Come to find out, I don't know why it said that, because we pass all those fees on to the buyer, right? So I remember the lady going, "So Mike, okay, cool, I'm paying the closing costs, but you're gonna pay the title insurance?" Yeah, of course. Let's do the deal, right? Okay, sounds good, Mike. Well, at the time it was like 800-900 bucks. Now it's like 1,500 or 1,600. But so that was a learning lesson. So I didn't make the full 5K, made like 4,200 or whatever it was. So it still worked out. That's kind of how my first deal came about. So hopefully it shed some light and some learning lessons for you to take home with yourself. So what is wholesaling? Like I said, drop any questions you want in the comments. I'll get to them. And wholesaling, you're basically going to the marketplace. You're looking for someone that needs to sell their house. Like I said, through some pressure or some situations that they need to move on, and then you get that property at a discounted price under contract. So you then control the property with a piece of paper. And then once you analyze the property properly and you get that and you make your offer to the homeowner and you sign the contract, now that you control it, you then go out to the marketplace and you look for the cash buyer that would want to buy that property. So it doesn't cost nothing to find a cash buyer. It's networking, energy, sweat equity, phone calls, emails, networking, handshaking. That's what it takes to get a cash buyer. Don't overthink it. If you got the property at the right price. So if you went into the deal like, hey, I'm moving this to a fix and flipper. How would a fix and flipper look at it? Right? So understanding how to go from ARV after repair value, minus all the concessions and costs of selling the deal, minus the repairs, minus the profits, minus the holding costs, and you work all that backwards, and you minus your wholesale fee, you have an offer to give. Or you can also go to like PropStream or look at cash solds and see what cash off-market junker type properties are selling for in that area within a mile radius, and then you can get a good idea of what cash buyers are paying. So you should do both, right? Work it backwards, work it down from the price, and then also do the what our cash buyers paying, and that should give you a good idea as to what to offer the homeowner. Lenny, have you done an MLS deal before? Yeah, man, all types of MLS deals. And at least when I started, MLS was hot. Like I would write 100 offers a week on MLS, right? So here's the kit, here's the deal. You just go get an agent that's newer to the business, and they're just trying to get some experience under their belt. Cut a deal, say, hey, man, because what's going to happen is they're going to create a portal on MLS. They're going to go out on MLS. You're going to say, hey, let's look in this neighborhood. And you're going to give them criteria. You're going to be like, we want potential distress on MLS. Like, what would that be? So if the average days on market for a property is 30 days, 40 days to sell, and there's properties on there for 60, 90, 100, whatever it is, you pick that number and say anything above 80 days, I want to write offers on, right? So why? Most likely, if a property's not selling or it's over its average day, it's because it's priced wrong. So you get a newer agent, right? That's just trying to get some lessons learned and trying to get their first check. And you get a portal lined up. You get within MLS, you could even search probate. You could search divorce, foreclosure, seller carrybacks up to. There's all these search items. So get creative real estate stuff. Get distressed points. Get a portal. Go through these and just get quick. Just go through the portal and just give him numbers. Give them the numbers to offer on those properties and write mass offers. So that's what I at one point, and we go through market cycles. Markets always change, especially here in Phoenix. So it's always changing. So MLS was hot for a minute, and there's still opportunities. You can still find a deal. A lot of people are locking up deals on MLS right now because some Airbnbs are popping on there. Interest rates are high. Some people that then actually thought they could sell it for more, or they've been sitting on the market a little longer than they wanted to. So I would always give it a shot on MLS. So yes, I do have done well on MLS with agents writing offers, and I simply just assigned them. You lock them up and you sign it. You come in as a cash offer. And what's great also about MLS, you don't have to do this, but it was standard to get a 10-day inspection period. So sometimes I might say 7, or make it a smaller inspection period if they took my price, right? I would use that there's always levers in negotiations. So yeah, so definitely do it. Go for it. Try it. Offers are writing an offer is an initiation for a conversation, right? When it comes to writing offers, this is one of the most important things you could be doing in your wholesale business is analyzing marketing, analyzing deals, writing offers, getting in front of homeowners and giving them an offer for their house, getting in front of agents and giving them an offer for their client's property. It's all you need to be doing. Don't worry about all the flash and don't get me wrong. You want to build your toolbox: sub-2, seller carryback, lease options, wraps, all this stuff. That all comes in time. But if you're just getting started, it's the basis of this interview here is just write offers. It doesn't cost you anything to write offers, right? If you get someone to accept your offer and you go get help, you go to your local networking meeting, you call a local investor, and you say, I got this deal. They accepted my offer. Is it a good price? Can you do this deal with me? Let's not overthink this. So write the offer. So I always like to put the analogy of it's like going shopping. You can go to the grocery store. You can go up and down the aisles. You can put cereal in your car. You can put steak in your car. You can put milk in your car. You can put water. Fill it up with $600-$700 worth of groceries. You can hang out in there for 2 hours for all you care. No one cares. You're shopping until you get to the checkout line. And they check out, do you want to put this stuff on the conveyor belt? I don't know. But you can walk away if you want. No one's going to say nothing. Someone that works there is just going to take your cart and put everything back. No one lost. No one gets in trouble. It's not illegal. Nothing's wrong. So you can do that in real estate. You can go on MLS, call agents, and give offers. You can go on Zillow or look for sale by owners and give offers. you can follow up with them. Key point there. You can give your offer, get rejected, and follow up or get them accepted. Whatever it is, it doesn't cost you nothing to write offers unless you're doing, obviously, you're building up your marketing. So no excuse. Go out there, write offers. So now, where were we? You got the property under contract because you wrote a bunch of offers. You got one accepted. 100,000. We're always going to go with the 100,000, right? So $100,000. Confidently that the fix and flipper would be more than happy to pay you 110 for that property because you saw that a lot of flippers are paying for 110, 115, 105, all these numbers within that neighborhood. And so now you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to go out to the marketplace and I am going to find a buyer. So you're going to create a flyer. You might have an email list. You might have phone numbers. You might post it out. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to go out there and go to the marketplace and look for cash buyers. And you're going to say, hey, I got this property for 110,000. I got this contract for 110,000, and I would like to assign my interest in this contract for the $10,000 profit. Not a commission. You're not a real estate agent, right? So it's a profit. So the investor likes the deal. So what happens is the transaction is facilitated at a title company. Some states are attorneys. So what would happen is then the cash buyer brings in 110,000. Oh, let me step back. Paper, the contract, the original contract with the homeowner, and the assignment. Those are like directions for a title company. They just read it and follow it. So they're going to say, hey, cash buyers bringing in 110. Mike is in the middle. He's assigning his interest in the contract for 10,000, and 100,000 goes to the homeowner. Simple as that. So they bring in the 110,000. 100 goes to the owner. 10 goes to you. So that's in short and simple, right? So can you do that? I'm sure you can. I know you can. You know what I'm saying? Still, deals are happening. Deals happen every single day. Is it easy? Is it going to happen overnight? Some it does, some it doesn't. How much effort are you going to put in? How much consistent you going to be? How resourceful are you going to be? Right? Go get it. So that's wholesaling. That's what wholesaling is in short, right? The process of it. So you can have a job and go out and do this on your spare time. You don't need boatloads of money you're not buying the property. You're not checking. That's what when they say no credit. Well, I just simply went out and offered people 60 cents on the dollar for their property till someone said yes. It doesn't take credit. It doesn't take W-2s. It doesn't take a license. It doesn't take any of that stuff, right? You don't ever buy the property. Your name's never on title, right? So you can do this. What else can we talk about? Any questions out there? So if you're in Phoenix, this is the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. We're here to provide networking opportunities, support, resources, government affairs. We're here to support all real estate investors' careers in the state of Arizona. We've been doing it for 21 years. We hold 200 events a month, or excuse me, a month, I wish, a year. That would be crazy. Over 7,000 people came through our doors last year learning real estate, networking, building relationships. That's what we're here for. And we represent the entire state of Arizona, only RIA here. And so anything you need, come through. If you want to invest in here and you don't live here, we can help you. If you're new here, we can help you. So check us out, ezria.org/calendar, if you want to check out our events that are coming up. Lenny, what you got here, buddy? Let's see. Is all on-market contracts assignable? Do we pay EMD or the end buyer? So, all right. I was told, all contracts are assignable unless they state they are not assignable. So, on-market contracts, my assumption there as to what you're saying is if you use realtor's contract, if you're having a realtor write your offers on MLS, most likely you're going to be using their state contract. So that would be a question that I would use depending on the state that you're in, and ask that real estate agent to find out for you if it is assignable. For here in Arizona, we always put, and for years I haven't either, but just to keep it simple, Lenny 123 LLC and or assignee will be how you write your name on title. In Arizona, we do now have to disclose that we are a wholesale seller and a wholesale buyer. So you just put those disclosures on the contract, and you should be fine. So is all on market contracts signable? That would be based on the agent that you're working with, and I'm assuming they are. I don't, unless the state said it's not or it's illegal to wholesale. So don't know much there, depending on where you're at. So and yeah, and since we're talking about online, man, like talking about getting these contracts, do agent outreach. You could think about it. Property managers, what do? They manage properties. Who do they manage properties for? They don't manage owner primary residents. They manage for investors. So can you pull up every property manager in your city, state, town, whatever it is, and call every single one of them and just let them know that you're just looking for your next investment and you'd like to give a cash offer on any of their properties that they may have, that many investors will just throw in the towel because they neglected it or they don't have the money. They're an accidental landlord. They're a tired landlord or retired landlord, and the tenant leaves in the middle of the night and stops paying them, and they're just like, I'm done. Are you gonna get flooded? Probably not, right? But can you build Are you good at building? This is networking. Can you build relationships? Can you call 200 property managers and introduce yourself and say, hey, can I check in with you once a week, every couple of weeks, see how it's going? Right. So, and you're just letting them know when you get that one deal this year that they throw in the towel and they're out of town and they just want cash and they want it over with and they don't want to wait 40 days, 30 days, 50 days, just put it on MLS. They don't have the money to fix it up. They can't get the tenants out, whatever the situation in. Remember, problems, right? We look for problems, not properties. When you deal with someone like that and you let them know that's what you do, and you can, it's not just calling, say, here, I'm the best in town. This is what I do. Nice to meet you. Bye. That you're not, no one's going to remember that, right? How can you be remarkable, right? How can you be discussed? How can you be remembered? So you follow up. I'm not going to go down that road right now, but you could just call property managers. You could just do the same thing with real estate agents and just do that all day. And then you'll meet some agents that'll write you offers. My wife had a situation where she's a realtor and she was dealing with an agent that was good at getting inherited properties and probate properties. And they're in a very desirable part of town. And the agent was like, yo, I got these properties and they live out of state and they don't want to list it, but they need my help and they don't want to wait. And she's like, agents don't know, they don't know investing. Not a large majority of them don't understand it. So they were like, she was like, well, I don't know. What do we do? My wife's like, get a cash buyer. Like, cause it's just normal for us. Right. So it's like, just bring a cash buyer. She's like, what do you mean get a cash buyer? Like, where do you find them? Right. At Isria. So it's like, so basically, long story short, an agent didn't know what to do with these highly desirable properties. So she put it in, the seller had their net number. So the seller's like, get me this, I'm done, on two different properties in very desirable areas, here in town. And they both made 20K. There's 40K in fees for them, right? And then one of the deals, they even got a wholesaler brought. They thought the wholesaler was going to be the buyer, and they had to double close in it. So it's like, so there was money to be made, and because my wife as an agent understood investing, she was able to educate another real estate agent that had two properties on their lap, not knowing what to do. So can you be that person? Can you be in the spot, networking and building relationships and meeting people? And so when that deal falls on that agent's lap, that they're thinking about you. So doesn't cost anything. Once again, right? It's work though. It doesn't happen overnight. Any questions, drop them in. Like I said, so we went over the process of what wholesaling is, told you some stories, answered some questions for Lenny. Thank you, Lenny, for dropping in and answering or asking questions. Helps the conversation. What do you guys want to know? I mean, wholesaling is a whole thing. If you go to Azreia, AZREIA.org/wholesale, I have a free ebook for you to download that I wrote a while back. Breaks down a lot of components within wholesaling real estate, so you get a full grasp and understanding as to what it is. Free, no charge. Azreia, AZREIA wholesaling.org/wholesale. Check that out. Um, what else could I touch on? So, talked about getting my first deal. We talked about what the basic transaction process of wholesaling. Um, let's see. How do you find these? What are some just I'm not going to dive deep in. I went over agent outreach, property manager outreach, which are agents, letting everyone you know what you're doing. Be shameless. Like like I said, 40% of my deals happen from this thing right here. Um, Easily become self-generated deals, right? I could make a living if I didn't do any other marketing and I didn't want to grow my business or anything like that, or just do a lot of deals. I can make a living on my cell phone, hands down guaranteed, just because I'm willing to talk to people and willing to go out there and shake hands and try to cut deals and be helpful to cash buyers and be helpful to other wholesalers. I sell other wholesalers deals, right? I got a message today. It was just like, yo, I got a group home, right? I got a group home assisted living facility that we need a buyer for. Not fix and flippers don't buy that. Landlords don't buy that. You need a special type of buyer. I here at Isria, we have assisted living facility members that own these, right? So they know I'm a resource that I could find this person and bring that buyer to their unique deal. So get out there, right? So other ways to go to direct to seller, right? I'm gonna, there's a million ways. There's cold calling, right? Um, Call from your phone, call from a dialer, not giving you, there's more rules and regulations on the do not call list and auto dialers. You always want to stay up to speed on all that stuff. For texting, that's another way. Stay up to speed on all the regulations on all that stuff. And every state's different, or I just don't know. Um, so you got the cold calling, skip trace it, getting raw data, skip tracing it, calling it, texting it. Direct mail, a little bit more expensive. I would say you probably got some play there because less people do it, but it is more expensive. People still do bandit signs. You can still put the little mini billboards on the street. What I say, the more money you have, the faster it can happen. The less money, the more sweat equity that you're going to have to drop into this. Um, so yeah, bandit signs. People do pay per click, PPC, right? You can do advertising on Facebook, Instagram, Google, all these ads. You could run that. Um, there's just so many ways to do social media. I get deals just from being on right here, just being on here. If I'm out here just talking real estate, showing you what I do, showing you how I do it, I make sure on Instagram I do at least 3 posts a day, 2, 3 stories a day, whether I'm in the business or answering questions or just talking shop. People DM me and say, hey, like, check this out. I had someone that DM me that follows me said, hey, my best friend, her mother is in foreclosure. Can you help? Right? I don't even know her personally, just follows me for whatever reason and see that lineage, right? Right? Like, hey, my friend and my friend's mother. So, I ended up getting on a phone call with the mother, answered questions, provided some guidance, didn't do the deal, but that's the power. It's free. You're on social media just answering questions and talking. Lenny, do you pay for boots on the ground? Are there companies that do that? What do you think cracking down on the assignment? Let's say I got this little thing. Okay. Do you pay for boots on the ground? Yes. So when I virtual wholesale, so I'm here in Phoenix, I've done a ton of deals in Cleveland, Ohio. I started virtual wholesaling there. Shout out to Xavier for helping me out there. I partnered up with him. He brought the cash buyers. I did the direct to seller marketing. Um, and yes, and when I started buying rental properties, yes, I pay $50 for pictures, right? If I think Joe charges me like another $10 or something if he goes, to sign the contract or has to go back to sign the contract. I forgot the numbers. But yes, there's companies that do it, so hey, I've used real estate agents. I used mobile notaries. I know there's some companies. I know there is some. I know people that use them. I personally haven't. Um, and you can find people on Craigslist. You could post I pinch myself in this stuff all the time. Um, I was just I used to host a board game, Cash Flow 101, here in Phoenix, and a gentleman named Joe used to come to my game, and then like 2 years later, while I'm starting my venture in Cleveland, I'm scrolling on Facebook and I see Joe like, "Hey everyone, I just moved to Cleveland." I'm like, "Really, Joe? You just moved to Cleveland?" I called Joe. That's it. He hooked me up and helped me out. So he was boots on the ground for like 2 years, man. So there's people are, hey, use your resources, call other wholesalers, go to the networking events, the RIAs. Who are people using for boots on the ground? A lot of these RIAs are online too, right? So it's just like, go to these Facebook groups in the city that you're trying to virtual wholesale, and ask what title company do you use, and find the title company, ask who they use for boots on the ground, and find the boots on the ground. Simple as that. Um so that's my boots on the ground answer. Why do you think they're cracking down on the assignment? If you want my big picture cracking down on the assignment, I think it goes along the lines of the National Association of Realtors, right? Like, so I think there's just a play there where they want more members and licenses, right? They want people to sign up for their license. That's key. They want to hold them to their standard and their rules, and we would now then pay more membership fees and costs and realtor and lockbox and da 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 da, all that stuff. That's one thought. Um, Wholesaling is low barrier to entry. So, do you have those bad apples, just like in any business? Yes. One part that I truly make sure I have a deal in my hands, right? When I put a property under contract, or if it's a little tight, I disclose and say, hey, don't pack your bags. Don't buy your next house or your next apartment. Don't leave. And like this deal's done. I need to look into this property. I need my inspection period. So until the inspection's over, don't make any major decisions. Um, and I see it here all the time. I get calls all the time like, "Hey, someone was supposed to buy my house. I moved and they didn't close on the house." You know what I mean? Like, or you're just dealing. Remember, we're looking for problems, so you're dealing with people that have problems in their life, and they're counting on you to make this deal happen. And then when you back out, because remember, when you have that bad apple that's newer and they don't understand it, how to write an offer. Like, I'm coming in, for example, on $100,000 house. Like, let's say I offer 60, and then there's competition 60, 65. Then you get this new person like just wanting a deal just to try it and excited, and they lock it up at 78. Of course the seller is going to go with them, right? And then they shop it around for 10 days, 30 days, whatever it is, and they don't sell it. Bad taste, that gives a bad rap, right? So that happens. So, that may be part of the reason why they did the disclosure thing here in Phoenix. So, but there's no rules around it. There's no police on it. No one's looking. There's not even a lot of, anyways. So that's why I think they're cracking on it. There's some bad apples that do business wrong, and I also do think they look at it as a point of revenue, and they also think maybe wholesale, like maybe we're taking up deals, or right, or I don't know. So that's what I think, because there's nothing wrong. It's a contract law thing, right? So it's like we have the right to assign our interest in the contract. That's it, right? Like, so they're trying to change that. So um that's my thought, Lenny. Good question, man. So if I was to say anything, you got to get out there and do the market. We're just talking direct to seller. Yes, there's other ways where they call it co-wholesaling, or you got like the astro flipping and stuff, where they say, "Hey, get some other wholesalers deal and then sell their deal." Right? All about it works, right? I do it all, right? So it's like, I prefer to control the deal and control my paycheck, and I don't want to. There's been millions of times. That's another thing, right? It's like you have a buyer, or you are the buyer, like as you grow as an investor, and you're like, "Hey, wholesaler, I'll buy that." Okay, I'll get right back to you. I got to call my partner. You know what I'm saying? So go call your partner then. Great. Day goes by, a few hours go by. Hey, man, I'm trying to drop off this Ernest. Oh, it's sold. You know what I mean? So you deal with that. I like I always prefer and took pride in going straight direct to homeowner, getting the contract myself, and then assigning it. And if you want to have 15 assignments down the road, and you're getting me my number, go make your money, right? It's my situation if I underpriced it. Um, so you gotta, do your marketing, go direct to seller is what we'll push for today. Go direct to seller, do your marketing, look for problems, write offers, analyze deals, get as many offers as you can, follow up, get the contract to sign it. But you got to understand how to analyze these deals, right? So you just should want to understand your market. You should just want to understand how to comp a property, comparables, comping. What are like for like, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,500 square foot house in the same subdivision or within a half-mile radius. You're looking for, understand how to comp properties is huge. Understand how to estimate repairs. So how do you comp properties? A million videos online. If you guys want me to do it, just send me a message. Comp properties. Have an agent do it, right? But remember, respect the agent. Depending if you got a little deal going where they're writing a bunch of offers, but maybe you could pay an agent. Hey, $10 a comp, $15 a comp. I don't know, right? Pay an agent. We had a conversation the other day about getting your own MLS, being an agent, or just getting your license just to have access to MLS. Are there other ways to get MLS? Yes, there are. Comp that property, prop stream, right? Prop stream. You could has a lot of these prop stream, all these whoever's privy, prop stream, batch. They all do this stuff. They all do the same stuff. So let's just they all have it. They source through MLS. So it's not you don't need MLS or a license to do this. So understand how to comp properties. Take an appraisal class. Have an agent teach you. Watch these wholesaling trainings. Right. Just learn how to comp. Practice. When I do my comping class in person here in Phoenix, the homework assignment is to do 50 comps. You don't need off-market deals. You can go straight to for sale on MLS and check this out. This is what's even easier about it. It's like go to MLS, comp a property that's for sale for $300,000, comp it, and let's say you comp it at $250. Call the agent. Hey, agent, I'm interested in this property. I'm looking at it. I'm running my numbers. I see an ARV of 250. You're saying you're listing at 3. Can you tell me why? Can you help me better understand? And they're gonna go, oh, because of X, Y, Z. This, and you're gonna go, oh. Or you could either say call BS, or you could be like, and just learn something. It's right in front of your face for free. Okay. So just comp 50. The more you do it, the better you get. The more you ask questions, the better you get. So estimating repairs. Hey, go meet at some fix and flippers. Say, hey, meet 3-4 flippers. Find out where they want to buy. What's their investor identity? Where do they buy their deals at? What do they pay for? What kind of houses do they like? Figure out what their buy box and criteria is, and then say, yo, I'm gonna go find properties for you. If I find a property, can I walk? Can I walk through the deal? Can you walk the deal with me? Can you explain to me what's going on? Can I go walk some of your flips? Or next time you're at one of your flips, can I go to one of your flips? Can you tell me what you did, how much you put in it, how much things cost? You could go to Home Depot. You could probably renovate an entire house except for major big ticket items in Home Depot, right? Just be resourceful. So meet fix and flippers, meet contractors, maybe pay a contractor to walk through a house with you and kind of give you a bid, pay for the bid. Do what you got to do to get that offer. So get good at going direct to market, talking to homeowners, get good at comping properties and analyzing them and estimating repairs. That's going to be key. Start there. And then there's a lot more I can go. I go, man, but I know I've been on here for a while, so I'm gonna wrap it up. So like I said, Mike Del Pre, Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. If you're in Phoenix or you want to watch our monthly meeting, which is on the second Monday of every month in Phoenix, second Tuesday of the month in Tucson, Arizona. In Phoenix, we stream it. We stream the meeting in this month meeting where Arizona has some water issues. So we have some challenges and some solutions for you. So we're bringing the Arizona Water Institute to come in and explain what's going on with the water. Then we're going to have Tina Tambor of the Cromford Report give us a market analysis as what's going on in the Maricopa, Phoenix area for investors. And then we're bringing in Adrian Smoot, who's a mobile home investor nationwide, and he will be showing us how he invests in mobile homes throughout the country for cash flow and travels around the world, lives the life of his dreams. just by investing in good old mobile homes. And I think mobile homes are a great investment, more affordable. They're always in demand. Less risk, I would probably say, and it's a niche that I think a lot of us could profit on and help the community because we do have low housing supply. So I think being able to invest in mobile homes will not only help the community, but it'll help your bottom line as well. So that will be September 11th at Venue 8600. Go to ezria.org to get your virtual ticket or to show up in person. Lenny, could you get cut out of a deal if you reverse wholesale if you don't want to lock it up yet? Is it possible? It is, right? Especially if you don't know anybody. So, meaning if you're reverse wholesaling, you're bringing the buyer and you're like, hey, buyer, got property over here. You call the wholesaler, be like, yo, I got my buyer. I mean, you don't have to, like, if the buyer's actively searching for, and they know you're not the controller, and they're actively searching for to get it cheaper from somebody else, and you presented them with the property and they didn't know about it, it's just bad business, right? Like, yeah. So as a co-wholesaler, yeah, there's probably ways you can get cut out of the deal because that's why the co-wholesaling model, it works and you use it when you can use it, but yes, can you get cut out? For sure. But then people are doing bad business, right? If you're talking to the wholesaler, like, yo, I got this buyer, and you're talking to the buyer, like, hey, I got it lined up, and they end up doing the deal together, and they both knew you were in the middle. That's just shady people. You just want to get away from them and just chalk it up as a loss and move on. And stay away from them because they won't be around anyways. So, but that's part of the game, right? So it's like I could easily control the deal by saying to my buyer, I got this deal at this price. Call the wholesaler, build that relationship. If you have relationships, you should be networking with your wholesalers anyways and knowing who's who. But you let them know you got a buyer on it and to send you the assignment. You don't have to say, hey, I got Joanne Smith over here, from this investments, and you don't have to disclose who your buyer is. You can say, hey, send me the assignment. I'm going to give it over to my buyer. Tell me where the title company is and how much EMD I need, and I'm going to get it opened up right away. Just give me a couple hours, whatever it is. So you can get it done. But yes, you can also, there is that chance, right? It doesn't happen all the time. And that's just part of it, right? So yeah, if you can hustle a deal that way, do it, right? But also understand how to go to direct to owner. Cool. So, man, I had one more thought on that I wanted to share, but if you brought up a good point. Reverse wholesaling. Yeah. Anyways, it'll come back later. Appreciate the questions, Lenny. Give us a subscribe. Anyone that's watching this in the future or now, subscribe, a follow, watch. We have our the Azria show, which comes out every Friday at 8 a.m. We probably got almost 100 podcast videos from people all around the country and locally here in Arizona. You can learn from. We got shorts. We got new long form videos. We're just a resource. So I appreciate you watching and chiming in. Send me a message. You want me to continue to do this? I think this is my third one. I haven't really set up a schedule or anything like that. So appreciate everyone. Ezria.org. Check us out. And until next time, take it easy.